Yep, welcome to it. Cricbuzz Comm Box 103 for one. We've got one that's kind of hotting up. You might say, well, actually it's not, because it's going one way. It looks like Rajasthan are making light work of this total of 185. I don't know how Michael sees it. What do you reckon in terms of the way they've started? Top stuff by Stokes there.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks like the dew is playing a factor. The ball's getting on nicely, and you've got a player in Ben Stokes who he can do what he did to Punjab this evening to any bowlers in the world. We've seen him smack the likes of Cummins, Stark, you name it. He's managed to get the best of them around the park, and when he comes out the traps like that, very, very difficult to keep him quiet. He can hit it 360, he can hit it down the ground, he can flick it over his shoulder, he can play the reverse sweeps. And when he gets his mojo going, it's just so difficult to keep him quiet. And you're just looking at Rajasthan now, and obviously they need to win the game, but you then start to ask how quickly can they win the game to get that net run rate as good as it possibly can be, because it just looks at we see the remaining games in the IPL before the qualifications, that net run rate, it looks like it's going to play a big part. So I think Andrew McDonald and the skipper Steve Smith will be sending the message out, look, win the game, but if we can win it with 2 overs to spare, 3 overs to spare, let's try and get it done quickly.
It's gone are those days, Michael, you know, where you'd say, oh, just get the victory. This is a part of the game as well, isn't it? Because it's on these little margins, a delivery here and over there, you know, that you could miss out on qualification, and that's the goal, isn't it?
Yeah, and with that much data around, and you know, there's so many people in the back room with computers, and they'll be working out exactly where they need to be, and they'll know already the kind of net run rate that they'll need to get to. And I'm sure they'll be sending the message out to the players that if we win by the 17th over, it'll go to X, and if we win by the 18th, it goes to Y. All this information will be available to the players. Yes, you've got to win, and first and foremost, you have to make sure you do win. But if you can win well and win quickly in this era, it's certainly conversations that most of the players and backroom teams are having.
Yeah, and ought to have. Okay, I want to look at it from the other side as well, because I'm sitting there wondering, and from bowling and fielding, and maybe from a captain's perspective, what could they have done differently, if anything at all, the Kings 11?
Oh, there's not a great deal. I mean, pitch is pretty good. There was a hint of swing, but only for about 2 balls. The slow balls just look like they're skidding on a little bit because of the dew. You can nail your Yorker, but if you miss it by an inch, you're going to go for 6. The one thing, I was speaking with Dooley the other day on here about, there doesn't seem to be enough bouncers bowled. You know, and the bowlers try the bouncer and it gets hit for 6 because it's a bad bouncer. You know, a good bouncer is still a very, very difficult ball to hit, and it's a wicket-taking option. I'd like to see more bouncers, but good bouncers. I mean, a bouncer that's on the left shoulder, like Uthappa got early from Shami, he just helped it on its way into the stands. That's not a good bouncer. If you aim your bouncer at the right shoulder to the right-handed batsman, left shoulder to the left-handed batsman, you've got a chance of, for 1, bowling a dot ball, and for 2, if he takes the shot on, of getting a wicket. So I'd say that particularly when the pitches start to get a bit dewy, I think the bouncer should be bowled a little bit more often.
Yeah. Yeah, well, what do you... Well, actually, I'm getting news that Robin Uthappa, they needed a wicket. In fact, they probably need a couple of wickets, because they're lining up to come in. With the start that they've got, that order looks that much longer, doesn't it?
Yeah, and Josh Butler's in that middle. Steve Smith, they've got plenty of power. You know, I said in the infill about, you know, Ben Stokes wouldn't open the batting for England in T20 cricket. Not yet. Not yet.
You're clawing back. You're clawing back.
Butler's at the top of the order, and he certainly won't want to give up that spot. And I don't think Owen Morgan will move him just yet. But what Ben Stokes is delivering is an option, another option for England going down the line. If they wanted a left-hander at the top of the order, Ben Stokes could do that. And by doing so, as you mentioned, it just lengthens that middle order somewhat. Butler, this is the kind of game that you would expect him to see off. You know, this is why he's so good. He comes in for these kind of games in that middle, can read the situation, and pretty much 7 to 8 times out of 10, he generally gets the team over the line.
What about, as we go along, now this, if we're honest, looks like it's going one way. What about drama? How does drama occur here? Because we're never short of it in IPL.
Well, Super Over, you can't rule that out on any IPL evening. The only thing I'll say about Rajasthan is that they have to win. So the pressure, they lose another wicket now, or Butler doesn't get going, or Smith gets a low score, that pressure card, knowing that they have to win, can play a big part in the game. So that's the only thing I'd say from Rajasthan Royals' perspective, that big word, the P word, can play a big part in that they have to win the game. And I'm pretty sure KL Rahul, the Kings 11, that's exactly what they'll be saying. The pressure word, they lose tonight, Rajasthan, they can't quite get on a plane just yet, but they'll be getting their tickets booked.
Okay, well, let's see how it plays out. Yeah, let's see if Kings 11 can put some pressure on. Remember, they're in danger of their run coming to an end. 5 on the bounce, could be 6, maybe not. We'll find out. We'll see you at the end.